When I get this whole thing planted, what I'll do is I'll take a handful of all-purpose plant food and I'll sprinkle that around the root ball. There is no nutrients in your soil, ever. There's no nutrients right now. There's no nutrients when you plant. What you'll find here is you'll need to fertilize more often than you have other parts of the country. Because of that, what I just said, your contractor came in, they took all the topsoil, they scraped it off, and you literally have dead soil. So there's no nutrients, there's no organics, there's no recycling. In fact, if a piece of organic matter drops onto a rock lawn, first thing you do is rake it up. We want no, thank you. No organics. We don't want anything collecting in our yard. And so there's not this like Midwest recycle, grass is being cut, and there's no composting. Your plants are more dependent on you for that. And so what that means, you need to fertilize more often. 3 times a year, you'll need to fertilize. I do it Easter, 4th of July, Halloween. You think holidays. So spring, summer, fall. Your most important feeding by far, October. When you start to see fall color, the aspens are gold, the mums are in full bloom, your pansies are starting to come back, you're harvesting lettuce, all that fall gardening stuff that you do, that's your cue. Put your all-purpose plant food. Okay. Also, let me just get on my soapbox for just a minute. I'll let you know I am an organic gardener. Okay. I like organics. I think it's natural. Obviously, it's natural. It's organic. I think we're too dependent on synthetic foods. Synthetic foods is like Scott's Turf Builder, some of these other, your 20-20-20, 10-10-10s. These are all chemical based. They're petroleum products. That's where they get the carbon molecule from. And so you're throwing reconstituted gasoline out there. It's ridiculous. It does activate very fast. If you're a farmer, probably good. If you're doing 2,000 acres of corn, yeah, you probably need that. But we don't need that. Your backyard, you can be more strategic with things. And so this food I made probably 20 years ago, 15, I don't know, it's been so long I can't remember. Cottonseed meal is the main ingredient. You get it out of Casa Grande. We're famous for our cottonseed. It's got bone meal and all kinds of goodies in it. We've pre-formulated it so you can spread it, so you don't have to think through. Organic gardening is kind of complicated. How many parts do I need of each? Well, here we got the recipe. We've honed it in for years. This works. The beauty with organics, 2 things. One, it releases over a really long period of time. And so you'll find that your numbers is a 7-4-4 fertilizer. So 7% nitrogen, 4% phosphorus, 4% potash. The reason we can go with lower numbers, we don't need 20-20-20, is because it's all being picked up. It's releasing over a slow period of time, so the plant absorbs virtually all of it. Whereas chemicals, they're very fast released. So some of them are releasing after 1 rainstorm, it's all released, it's gone. Or if you're lucky, maybe a month it might stay there. Well, here we get 3 months of food. That, and if you put in a chemical out there and it's releasing so fast, the next rainstorm, it flushes down. It's not in your plant's root. Plants don't pick it up. It's going downstream, down the dry wash that's now raging. So if I'm going to sell 3 truckloads, this is, I don't know, thousands of bags of this, thousands of pounds, I think I have a responsibility, if we're drinking groundwater, to not pollute us, or help my customers not pollute us. So anyway, that's I'll get off my soapbox. Use this fertilizer. You'll only find it at Waters Garden Center. You heard me. Okay, so let me cover this. It always comes up, gypsum. Should you use gypsum? Should you throw gypsum? If you read the bag, it says it melts rock, makes anything grow. It doesn't do any of that. This is the myth. We get rid of the myth. Google, it will just send you down a rabbit hole that you'll be so confused you won't know what to do. What gypsum does, it helps leach the minerals out in your soil and flush those out. So that white buildup in your sink and in your bathtub, your toilets, that mineral layer, that also builds up in your soil. And so what this does, it helps to flush that out. So that's all it does. If you're planting in a rock pile, this is not going to help drainage. It's not going to do that. It might reopen the drainage you already created, but it's not going to create drainage. So I personally don't use gypsum myself. I use it in my vegetable gardens because it's calcium. Calcium's great for blossom end rot on peppers, and so I'm adding some gypsum right now to my vegetable gardens because we're getting blossom end rot. You've been watering so much, you'll get this where the blossom was set in your peppers. Your squash won't produce. I'm a giant pumpkin grower. I like growing pumpkins this big. Well, gypsum is great for that because calcium is what builds up the sidewalls, brings up the flavor on your peaches. Calcium has a lot of benefit, but it doesn't create drainage. It helps to redrain things that are clogged up. Does that make sense? I explained that well enough? So don't get deep. We don't have gypsum on the planting trucks. We have jackhammers because you can break up the soil. That makes a difference, not gypsum. If it did, boy, it's way easier than a jackhammer. Okay, when I'm all done, I have actually pre-mixed this up ahead of time. This is a composted tea. We call it root and grow. So we make ourselves. This I'll have my 2-gallon watering can or 5-gallon bucket or whatever. When I'm all done, I water in the plant with this. And I'll hit it with this root and grow every 2 weeks until I see the plant stabilized and it's growing now. Now it's putting new leaves. The flowers are now erupting with new growth. You can tell, oh, it's happy. I'm such a gardener. That's when you can cut this off. And that's when the fertilizer starts taking over. This is for transplant shock, purely for transplant shock. It's also the world's greatest houseplant food. You ever want to try houseplants? Oh my gosh. Composted tea, this thing, it's like fish fertilizer, only without the stink. So it kind of looks like fish. Have you ever used fish emulsions, that kind of stuff? And it smells like rotting bodies. This doesn't have the rot because it's made from organic. It's made from steeped teas. I don't know, from grains basically, no meat products, so it doesn't smell. Okay, that's how you plant. Questions? Of course.
On the 744,
Yeah.
if your plants are already established and you're just doing them 3 times a year, do you just sprinkle it on the top of the
Good question. Yeah. So our question for you folks online, on this side of the room. So the 744, if your plants are already established, make sure I got this. Do I have to work this in the ground? And I just sprinkle it on, and it will go through the rock and the fabric and through the mulch that I have, through the beds. You do not have to work this on. Just chuck and go. I use a hand spreader. I fill the hand spreader up. I just walk around the yard. I go, be happy, everyone. Just be happy. Go, go, go. Kind of looks salt and peppered when you're all done.
You don't have to water it in.
I don't water it in. I wait for rain. I am the laziest gardener. I'm almost embarrassed, but I have a beautiful yard. But I don't. The main thing is to get it on there. And I wait for nature to bring it down. Some folks go, you got to focus where the drip system is. Put it right where the dripper is. I'm like, don't. All your roots are not right there. Your roots are everywhere. Put the soil, put the fertilizer where the roots are, not where the water is going to be. Rain will actually activate it. We'll get rain. We get minimum a ½ inch of rain a month. And the next month we'll probably get 2 to 3 inches of rain. If we look at the historical 100-year average, that's 100 years of data is hard to go against. But if we don't get rain this month, for sure we'll get it next month. The question will be how much. And so for you gardeners that just don't like that answer, you are allowed to take your rake and your shovels and your hose and go work it in if you want. You can go water it if you want. I would rather go pet the dog, play with grandkids, do something else. I would rather wash the car than work fertilizer in the yard. No, just get it on there, you're fine. Okay. Yeah.
There's dogs that like to eat that, so I
Yeah.
have to work it in
Yeah,
our
okay.
yard. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I know it won't hurt them, but I don't like them eating stuff.
So
that's not-
we make 2 kinds of food. So I've got this is the original. This is cottonseed meal. It's less attractive to dogs and coyotes and that kind of stuff. Cats. They don't find it as interesting, but it does have an earthy kind of organic smell. It does smell organic. I mean, it's okay. To gardeners, that's like a great thing. To non-gardeners, they're going, ew, that stinks. I also make 100% organic. It's all natural. It's not really organic. As soon as you put a mineral in there like sulfur and iron, you can't call it organic. You can call it natural, but minerals are technically not organic. We have a lot of, especially the younger folks, the new families, they want hardcore organic. That's like just pure organic. So we made a fruit and vegetable food that's pure organic. Okay, there's no mineral, there's no iron. It's just bone meal, blood meals, different kind of meals. We pelletize so you can spread it. That one the dogs will like, because meat meal, come on, bone meal. That screams of dogs. So I gotta watch Vincent, or we've got a black lab that roams around. So there, I use the fruit tree food, the vegetable food in the vegetable gardens, and then I'll water it in there to keep the dogs out of it. Or I'll use it in the front yard where I don't have that problem. In the backyard, I spread the all-purpose food, and I find the dogs aren't as interested, especially if you spread it out as much. So, but that's the difference. That's why thank you for bringing that up.